Hello, my name is Lynn. Welcome to my channel New Renaissance. Join me in my passion, where I bring old furniture back to life.
Hey everyone, this is Lynn from Belgium. How are you doing? Well, I am doing great today because I am participating in my very first YouTube challenge between other furniture flippers from all over the world. For this challenge, I made over this beautiful armoire behind me. If you want to know how you can achieve this cloudy, old world-like look, just keep watching.
This challenge is called Unique Antique and it is hosted by the Crafty Creech DIYs and Furniture Flips and co-hosted by Round 2 challenge winner First Rate Furniture. The rules of this challenge are simple. Take a vintage or antique piece of furniture in the French provincial style and add some floral aspects to it. For this challenge I was so happy I got my hands on this beautiful crested armoire. Although it looked in pretty good shape, I have to say there were quite some problems with this one. As you can see, the veneer was chipping all over. That there is a lot of work on this armoire is definitely an understatement, so let's get started. For all the repair work and putting on the first coat of paint, I decided to work on this piece while it was disassembled. This way I got a better view of all the problems there were. I started by removing all the veneer that was bubbling using a putty knife. I am only removing the bubbles here and not the rest of the veneer, but we're coming to that later. After all the big bubbles were removed, I used a water hose to wet the piece of furniture. Once everything was completely soaked, I used a heat gun to remove all the other veneer. Although it was quite a struggle to get the veneer off on this top part of the armoire, there were parts where it went a lot easier. It's thanks to the combination of the moist and the heat of the heat gun that the glue of the veneer will dissolve. The veneer will start bubbling, as you can see here, and you can easily remove it. Although this technique helped me speed up the process, it still took me 2 days to remove all the veneer. I sanded down the wood I found under the veneer. Then I filled up all the cracks and holes with wood filler. I let it dry and sanded it again. The sanding also helped to remove the glue that was left underneath the veneer. With some flexible wood, I tried to repair the broken flowers. On the inside of the doors, there was some pretty severe water damage. My husband removed all the affected wood with his wood planer. With this tool you can scrape off a layer of wood. It is more drastic but also effective than a sander. Since the door lock wasn't working anymore, we decided to remove it. We filled in the hole with some old wood scraps and glue. After this had dried, we filled it with some wood filler, let it dry again and sanded it smooth. A lot of the trim work was damaged, so we tried to repair it, or we replaced it by new trimming. Wherever the trimming or details had come off, we glued them back on or we nailed them back on with our nail gun. The base of the armoire had become completely askew. With the help of some screws and by providing reinforcement on the inside, my husband made sure everything was straight again. After all the repair work was done, it was time for paint. First, I cleaned everything very well with some water and dish soap. And then I went in with my first coat of Annie Sloan's French linen. I used my spray mister to help move the paint around. When you're using a spray mister, you will need a little bit less paint than when you wouldn't use a spray mister. I only painted the first coat while the armoire was disassembled. For all the next steps, we put the armoire together and you will see it in its all. If you're still around here watching this video and you like what you see, it would mean the world to me if you would subscribe to my channel. And if you are already subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. To make sure the paint gets into all the details of this crested armoire, I used a little round brush. What you see here is the inside of one of the side panels of the armoire. For the inside, I chose a little lighter color, Chateau Grey from Annie Sloan. Since the color I had chosen for the inside of this piece was such a light one, I decided to give everything 3 coats. For the little holders for the shelves on the sides, I used a liner brush to get into all those little grooves. And also the inside of the glass doors were painted in Chateau Grey. Finally, it is time to assemble the armoire. I wanted to use the ragging technique for the top coat. For the ragging technique, you want to make a paint wash. I used 3 colors of Annie Sloan's range: Graphite, Duck Egg Blue and Old White. For a paint wash, you take 50% paint and 50% water. This is why the paint is so runny and you can see it dripping down my armoire. At first, it will look a bit scary, but you just really have to trust the process. For the ragging technique, you use, what's in the name, a rag. You fold it up a little bit messy and you start tapping the paint while it's still wet. You're never wiping, but you're always tapping. Since the paint is so watery, you are actually blending the paint with your cloth. But the result of this blending technique is so much different than when you would do it with a paintbrush. It just gives so much more texture and structure to the piece. It gives more depth to the colors and in my opinion is just way more interesting to look at least when you're going for an old world and very aged look. There is no specific rule where you want to put each color, but if you would want to have some sort of guideline, I would suggest putting the darker color, here I'm using graphite, on the edges and in the corners, because that are the places where dust and grime usually builds up over time. When you put your darker colors over there, it will help give your piece a more natural look. Take a step back once in a while to literally zoom out and see if the colors are in the right places and it feels natural to you. And when it doesn't, no problem at all. You can always keep blending, keep adding paint, highlights, lowlights as much as you want. Yes, there is definitely a reason why I am smiling. I am putting on gold leaf. To put on gold leaf, you need gold size, it's some sort of glue, the gold leaf of course, and an old makeup brush. I used a flat brush or a liner brush to put on the glue on every little detail where I wanted the gold to stick to. Because you will need to work in sections, don't forget to put your paintbrush in a little bit of water in between. The glue will dry reasonably fast, and that is why you have to put your paintbrush in water. If you don't do so, trust me, you can throw away your brush. The glue will first be white, then it will turn into a purple color, and once it is clear, you can put on the gold leaf. Applying gold leaf is very easy. You just take a sheet of gold leaf and you cut it in the desired size. And then you place it face down on your piece of furniture. To make sure that the gold is sticking to the piece, you can rub on the tissue paper or you can use a brush to do so. Then you wipe back the tissue paper and then you use a soft brush to remove all the excess gold leaf. Once all the gold leaf is applied, you will need to let it cure for 24 hours before sealing it with wax or any other sealant. As one of the last steps of this makeover, I protected my piece with some clear wax. I wiped off all the excess with a cloth, and then I accentuated all the edges and all the corners with some black wax. Also on the gold leaf, I used some clear wax and a little bit of black wax. And then for my very last step, I wanted to add my floral. I used a sticky stencil on both sides of the drawer. I brushed a thin layer of gold size over the stencil. And then it was time to put on the gold leaf. I just really love the result. And now I have applied this floral to my piece of furniture, I can finally say I am done. I've spent more than 100 hours on this beautiful crested armoire, but it was worth it. Before I reveal the result, let's have a quick look at how this armoire used to look like. And this is how it looks now. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up or subscribe for more free tutorials. Bye!